they can take your phone, they can do everything. But for us, we normally go to the streets, we do street work, in the streets in CBD, and then we make a rapport with them, we tell them who we are, and then there is a time that we set, a date we set that we go and welcome them in our home, and then we do the admission. Like now on Tuesday next week, we are doing some admission. We have prepared some of them in the street. They are almost around 40 or 30. The ones whom we shall get on Tuesday, we shall go to the streets and then we get them. After we get them, we take them to a place known as Madaraka. It is near Strathmore University. In Madaraka, we call it a drop-in center. When we take them from the streets, we take them there for 3 months orientation. After orientation, they are transferred to this place. This is the main center. So per year, we have 3 intakes. We have January, May, and September. So this is the last one we shall do on, so it is on 12th. On 12th, the last one this year. And then when we take them, when they are there, we do some home tracing. Because these children, we understand that at least they come from somewhere. So we have to trace where they come from. Some of them tell us the truth, some of them cheat, but we have counseling, we have our counselors who normally do the therapies, and then they open up. And then afterwards, we go to where they come from. If somebody comes from Western Machakos, we have got others who come from across like Uganda, Mali. So we have to go there and meet their parents, and then we tell them who we are, what we are doing. And then after that, after they are now transferred to this place, we take them to school. They go to different schools here. We have Queen of Peace, we have Bramwell, we have Elimu, and also Grandmark. Queen of Peace is our school, but we don't take them all there. Because you know these children, they are brothers, and you know their life in the streets. If we take all of them to the same school, if somebody, sorry, if we take them to the same school, and if you touch one of them, you know they are brothers, they can bring chaos. They can bring chaos in school. But when they are here, we teach them everything, and then they change pole. After 2 years, we take them back to their families. So we have got different activities that they normally do here before we take them to their various homes. We also have parents meeting. The parents have to come here. We have the meetings, we tell them who we are, and then we also prepare them to receive their children back there at home. So in short, that is what we normally do here. I've just said that in a nutshell. But we have got many activities that we do here. Kuna wengine wanacheza brass band, we have got football, they like soccer, and we also teach them how to cook, to do their cleanliness. We don't have workers who normally come here to clean. They are the ones who clean. They clean their dormitories, they make their beds and so forth. Maybe after you have finished prayers, you will go there and see where they sleep. So they also cook, they undergo catechism, they are baptized, and they receive. We have got others whom we are preparing, they will have confirmation on that of November this year. So that is what we normally do.
Toto wako, mlinde, mlinde, mlinde toto. Kwa wanyama, ulikuwa huko, mlinde mtoto wako.
Thank you very much. So group 6 is solo. that's my group. And just looking for the points, yes. I've heard all those things, and I'm happy that at least they synchronize with some of the points that I had, which I'll share from my father to me, to maybe now my children. So the things that I saw from my father that I learned, that I wanted to share with you, and that I saw over here. And the first thing is vision, right? My father had vision. And in two different, or three different unrelated instances, I am a Catholic because of my father, who was not a Catholic. He took all his children to Catholic schools, all my siblings. Took us to Catholic schools. Why? Because he said Catholic schools, number one, the discipline is high and the teachers are committed. I mean, that generation, there were more of the clergy, of the sisters and in the church. So he grew up admiring the Catholic Church, but he never became Catholic. All of us went to Catholic schools. All of us are Catholics except him. And my mother is not Catholic as well. So he had this vision, kind of that. I want my children to grow in this kind of situation. But more than that, he did not interfere with our catechism classes. So when we went through the catechism classes, he did not interfere. He did not say, no, the authoritative one that you're talking about, this is my house. You have to be an Anglican. You have to be. He had one rule. You have to go to church. I don't care which church it is, but you have to go to church. So one of the jokes we have is that much later, when I would go and visit him in the village, we would walk. I would walk with him. Then we'd reach somewhere. The guy would turn right and go to Anglican church. I would turn left, go to Catholic, kind of right. Then we'd meet in the house and now start talking about the sermon. How different was it? So, vision. The second thing, again, on part of vision, which a father should have for his family, is I grew up in Jericho, the tough Eastlands neighborhood, and crime rate was very high. And when my father noticed that this crime rate is going to consume his children, he decided that, hey, these ones have to go to missionary schools. But he didn't have the means. So what did he do? He went knocking on doors. And being a city council worker, he used to read meters. So one day he went to read the meter at Banda School, and he approached them and asked them for a scholarship. And they told him, no, we don't offer that. Why don't you go and try St. Mary's? And my father went to St. Mary's and asked for a scholarship, and he got it. So my brother got into St. Mary's. And then at St. Mary's, he met another parent who told him, hey, Strathmore is better. I'm not saying anything. He said, Strathmore is better. Go ahead, make sure, try Strathmore. Strathmore is better. So he went to Strathmore, and he's like, same thing. That's how I ended up in Strathmore, not St. Mary's. Kind of, right? So that vision of, you don't have, you can't, but you're going to get it. And how many times have we done that, as fathers? Saa ingine hakuna kitu, but as a man, utajikaza, si ndio? Yes. The other one that I'll talk about is example. The first time I went to City Stadium to watch Gor Mahia was with my father. And I was, I think, hardly 5. And tulienda. Now, if you've ever been to the City Stadium, is where men behave badly. Ile matusi yote najua, I learned from the City Stadium. Yote. Yote, You see big things. But my dad kept on telling me, focus on the game, focus on the game. So you find men who are drunk, kind of wanakojoa ovyo, urinating and everything. And you're distracted. But he kept on telling me, focus on the game. Focus on the game. I've never forgotten that. Just focus on the game. Leave those guys aside. Focus on the game. And it's the same thing we're talking about. We're talking about digital distraction. We're talking about all those things. Focus on the church. Focus on God. To tell the children the same thing. Focus. The distractions will not go away. They're getting more and worse and everything. But what do? You're with them. And what do you tell them? Focus. Focus on the game. Focus on the game. Right? Then the other one was, I'm trying to look for it. No side shows. You have to, what's the word? You have to be a risk taker. And that's one thing that made the challenge that did not come, and I was waiting for it. We baby our children too much. Of course, they call it the generation of Kababa and Kamama. You ask me as a principal, half of the fights I have is because the parents are not letting go. When I joined Strathmore in Form 1, my father escorted me to the bus stop, number 6, Kencom, nikaingia kwa matatu, akaniambia, huwezi potea, go. Yeah? And I went. I alighted at Valley Arcade, so Lavington, and then I started walking. Then I met someone, I told him, Strathmore School iko wapi? He looked at me. Unaenda shule na ujui paliko. You're going to a school that you don't know where it is. How? You know, kind of. But I reached. I mean, I didn't get lost. And it didn't worry him because there was no social media, there was no phones, nothing. I reached. And that was his belief, is that, hey, you're 13, you're big, go. You know, kind of. So risk-taking. And that is one thing that we have denied our children. I've got 2 daughters. The older one is more independent. I call it wilder. The younger one, she cannot enter matatu. She cannot, she will not. The older one, even Boda, she will, all over the place. Different generation. And I normally say the difference between the 2 children is a car. The first one was born when I didn't have a car. So we used to walk, we used to enter matatus, we used to go everywhere. The second one was born when I had a car. So the car, exactly, sell the car. That's the difference, you know, kind of, right? But same thing of risk-taking, and I am guilty of that as well, because, you know, it's like, no, you know, kind of, right? She cannot, she's 22. Aizi ingia matatu, aizi panda boda. Finally, the last one I wanted to share is about materialism and hoarding of things. And my father died about 7 years ago. I stretched cancer, and we had that battle. And I remember maybe a month or so, or 2 months before he died, I had this conversation with him. Very interesting. I always laugh when I think of the conversation. So he's lying on his bed in his bedroom in Jericho, and he tells me, get me that coat. So I get him a coat, tells me, check inside. Okay, I remove some money, you know, kind of, I give it to him. No, says, no, count it. So I count it. Can't remember how much it was. Okay, so here's my phone. Check the M-Pesa balance. Gives me the PIN, I check the M-Pesa balance. Add it, how much does it come to? Maybe 30,000, I can't remember the exact figure. Then he starts telling me, you know, these people owe me money. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever kind of thing. I calculate how much. It came to about 75,000 shillings. I said, okay, thank you very much. Make sure you get all that money, because that's my coffin. I've paid for my coffin, you know. So you'll bury me in a coffin of 75,000 shillings. So during the meetings, you know, like the budget is never enough for funerals. So you start chopping things, and I've put there, coffin 75,000. And people tell me, no, Cliff, you can get a coffin of 15,000 shillings. What is this, whatever kind of thing? We have to cut. Says, the old man has bought his own coffin. Nobody is going to touch that, you know. So anyway, after he died, of course, we bought the coffin, we buried him and all that. But what now came out were the land issues within the family. He never discussed it with anyone, completely. So that's when he's like, that piece of land, whatever kind of thing. My point is that he was more concerned about going in a peaceful way and not living a divisive, right? So you as a man of the family, you have to be a uniting factor. And sometimes that unity is destruction because your grandfather, your father has left property, and that's what everyone is looking at. And nobody is looking at the family unity or the family disunity and all those kind of things. Everyone is like, how will I get this? How will I get this? You as a man, the point is you have to be the point of unity. So, number one, vision. Make sure that as a family man, you have that vision and you take the responsibility. 2, example. You have to lead from the front. People have talked about the prayers and that kind of thing. You have to lead from the front, but also with the intention of letting your children know focus, you have to lead them as a focus. And of course, the rest now fall into place, okay? Asanteni sana. Yes.
So we thank the Lord who has permitted us to be together, to reflect together. Whatever you have been sharing, that is God's grace. So many people admire such moments, they don't get them. So that is God's grace. We thank him. Our figure today to look at is Moses. Moses was a friend to God, friend to friend, face to face talking. And he had qualities of a good leader. Number one, he was a mediator. A mediator who could try to negotiate that between God and people, nothing bad could exist. Nothing bad should go on apart from a strong, good relationship. That is Moses. Fighting for the people. Whether they are in the wrong or they are right, no problem. But he has to fight and defend them. And anything he could consult the Lord. What can we do? These people are adamant. These people are strong. These people don't hear. These people misbehave. What should we do? I am tired. I'm giving up. Remember, Moses had a staff. A staff in your right hand. A staff is a sign of authority. A staff is a sign of not fearing. A staff is a sign of courage. A staff is a sign of let's go. A staff is a sign of gathering. A staff is a sign of bringing together. A staff is a sign that the enemies should fear. That man, that woman is strong. And a staff is a sign of leadership. This is Moses. So when the Lord calls him, first of all, he's not accepting. He feels this work is a bit funny. He feels this work is a bit hard. And that's why he's telling the Moses, these people will ask me, who is sending you? Nobody can define the Lord. Because if you define the Lord, you limit him. The Lord is unlimited. He's omnipresent. So that's why you cannot define him. You cannot limit him. By telling him, when they tell me the name of the Lord, how should I answer? I am who I am. I am who I am means no present, no future, no past tense. I am who I am always. And that is a good leader. When you are a good leader, people admire you. People look at you. People don't sleep. People shake their hands. People appreciate. People esteem. This is Moses. How many times has he failed? But the Lord strengthens him. How many times does he felt tired and he doesn't want to continue? This is the challenges which we meet when we are leaders. Now, young men, gentlemen, now you are gentlemen because of the shrine of Consolata. God has chosen you. Thank you for coming. And I hope you are getting something which will strengthen you, which will update you, which will actualize you to work as the Lord has chosen you. This is Moses. Remember one day, he was so tired. He has gone to dialogue with the Lord. He's talking with the Lord. He's looking for something spiritual to the people. And people are busy committing sin. Sinning. They have made a molten God. They have made something. They are believing that they are worshipping something. And God is very, he's very, he's wrath. Wrath is like bleaching a boiling point. Everything. I want to go and consume these people. I'm going to delete them. I'm going to finish them. I'm going to terminate them. I will get a new people. These people no longer know. Moses is there to intercede. Another title for Moses is an intercessor. He is there to intercede for us, that God may not terminate with these people. God may not finish these people. This is the leader of a man who has been chosen to be in this group of CMA in Consolata Shrine. The one who is strength, the one who doesn't fear, the one who fights for the people, the one who is ready to defend the church, the one who is ready to defend his people, the one who knows his responsibility. This is Moses. There was a time when God was so much annoyed with the people that he was finishing them. Moses said to the Lord, if you want to finish them, you rather kill me. Delete me from your book. Remove me from your book. By the way, in the whole Bible, the most person talked of in the Bible is David. Over 1,700 times. Moses is over 1,300 times. And then comes Jesus. Now, see the importance of Moses. He's the second man most mentioned in the whole Bible from Genesis to Apocalypse, or the book of Revelation. The 73 books we have in the Bible. David is the first, followed by Moses. This shows the importance of Moses. Moses is the resistor in the beginning for his call. God makes him to work tirelessly. He's working. But what we have heard today is very interesting. Moses is praying for his people. Praying. When he raised his hands, the enemy is being finished. The moment his hands are a little bit shaken, they are coming down, the enemy is taking advantage. He has these two gentlemen around, Aaron and Hur. They sit on a stone, one there, the other. Support the man, support the hands, support him. One is here, one here. Supporting that this man should fight for the church. Remember in 2007, I was in America. I had gone to study when you came for the most violent elections in Kenya, 2007. The people came here to meditate, including the late Mandela's wife. There were three people. We had Kofi Annan, we had that lady Grassa, we had Benjamin Mkapa, and we had another group of people here trying to negotiate. That mediation saved Kenya, if you don't know. That mediation saved Kenya. Thanks to Kofi Annan and his team. They came here, they started arguing. Remember, 8 countries were suffering worse than you. Uganda was suffering, Southern Sudan was suffering, Rwanda was suffering, Zaire was suffering, which is today Congo, Burundi was suffering, Somalia was suffering. All those countries because of Kenya. What are the old woman deep in the village in Uganda, southern Uganda there? Did she have anything to do with the elections in Kenya? That woman was not getting what she was supposed to get, including Rwanda, Burundi, Tanzania, and all those countries. So people came in to mediate. Now, that mediation is what is saved. That mediation, that sitting on the round table, talking, try to mediate that Mzee Kibaki and Raila may come together, may help us that there will not be a war, people should not kill each other, saved the country. Now, that kind of mediation of which I'm talking of is the same mediation which Moses is making with God. God is going to finish the people. What will people comment about you? What will other nations think of you? Oh, you people, you have got a wicked God. He thought he's bringing you from Egypt. Now he has killed you here. He has finished you. What sort of God is that? The Lord had and changed his stand. From adamant to relented. He relented. Being adamant, he relented. Now he becomes a father. Now Moses is an intercessor. Moses is a prayerful man. Moses fights for the people. Moses fights for the future. Moses doesn't want anybody to die. Moses wants people to be with life. This is you and I who are talking. This is your work and responsibility in the church. As a leader, are you holding the people? Where do you feel that you are becoming weak? If you are becoming weak, how will you renew your energy? Moses is a prayer intercessor petitioner. Intercedes. Plays a lot of supplication. Plays a lot of petition. Prayers. This is what we normally do. Unfortunately, Moses did not enter the promised land. In fact, if you read the Bible, he did not enter the promised land. And Moses and the Blessed Virgin Mary, together with the Saint Joseph, they are the only three people whom we don't know where their tombs are. Moses was sort of, he died an old man, 120 years. An old man. And if they took time remembering Moses. What do we learn from there? We who have been gathered here from morning up to now. We learn various things. Number one, insistence. Whether people agree, whether they don't agree, whether you feel tired, whether you don't feel tired, insistence. If you don't insist, no way. Insistence, consistency in what we do. Whether sometimes you feel tired, sometimes maybe at home there is a disagreement between you and your wife. You know, there are some men who are here and the woman doesn't know where you are. You know, such situations at home. Unamubembeleza tu, una epa. Kwa sababu kijua umeenda wapi, umemalizwa. So there are situations like that. But how do you do your apostolate? There are some of you good gentlemen here, my brothers, whom the woman and the children or the grandchildren, they know that dad or granddad or who has gone for a spiritual moment, has gone to represent the church, is representing the church. Kuna wengine mwepa hata wajui mko wapi. Sasa utarudi ujitetee. So such situations are there. But Moses comes in to say, come what may. Come what may. This man is strong. This man represents us. And the Bible says this was a great friend of God. God liked Moses so much. Remember Moses, the way he's put from the water, he's born a very beautiful handsome boy, baby. Remember all from the river Nile and so on and so on. And remember the funny story. Now, Moses is our in-law. Got the wife from Sudan, southern Sudan here, between Sudan and Ethiopia. Zipporah. But one day, Mariam is a sister and Aaron to Moses. They looked at this. They had never seen a black lady who is Zipporah, the wife of Moses. Now, when Moses brought that lady, they started laughing. Wakaanza kumsengenya. Mani wakasema, how do you bring a black wife in our culture? Wakaenda huko wakamsengenya. The following day, those people had leprosy. The whole body, they were sick. Yikumsengenya tukumuchekea bibi wa Moses. They got sick. Mariam was almost dying. When they brought Moses where he was and they told him, this lady has been laughing at her sister-in-law being a black. Now he has got leprosy. The whole, anytime she's dying. Moses knelt down and pronounced the shortest prayer in the Bible. The shortest prayer in the Bible. Please heal her. Please heal her. If you want, the book of Leviticus, chapter 9, verse 9, please heal her. That is the shortest prayer in the Bible. And he was healed. Meaning Moses didn't care whether the sister is discriminating. The black woman is polar. But Moses cared for life, and Moses interceded, made prayer, and God heard. My dear brothers and sisters who are here, let us not forget to pray in case of problems. Let us not forget to pray where problems arise. Let us not forget to pray knowing that God is the overlord. Tumsifu Yesu Kristo.